I'm joined now by Marty Smith of ESPN, the extraordinaire, doing a lot of fun things always, trying to make coverage as fun as possible. And, I guess having the opportunity to cover the national championship is just a really cool thing, right? So what are your favorite things about having the opportunity to cover events like this?
Well, first of all, the platform. I mean, obviously, it's the tip of the spear in college football, which is my favorite sport. Grew up going to games with my dad in the highest reaches of Virginia Tech's Lane Stadium. And so just to have the opportunity to interact with these guys will never be lost on me. And it's the best of the best, and what these young men have gone through, persevered through to get to this stage this year is amazing for both teams. And I'm always reminded of that on Monday night. When they kick the game off, it's an explosion of emotion. It's an explosion of passion because it's the greatest sport in the world. And it's not, even though I'm blessed to get to do it every weekend and be around these great coaches and players all the time, I'm always humbled by the opportunity to get to do it. I'm full of gratitude, man.
And to that point, I mean, I grew up just outside New York City, and as much as I love football, we don't have college football like this.
You were a pro fan, I bet.
I am, and my Giants are doing all right, made the playoffs and everything.
They are. Congratulations.
Thank you, first time in a while.
Danny Buckets.
But I guess let's shift gears to the Dogs right quick. Obviously, the Dogs have the opportunity to do something that is seldom done in any sport, and that's repeat. What have you seen personally from the Dogs this year that makes you think that they can get it done on Monday night?
Tremendous resilience. And I was in Athens Monday and Tuesday. I went straight from the Peach Bowl over to Athens, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and interviewed a bunch of players, spent a lot of time with Kirby. And to a man, now that they're back to the stage, they admitted to me that the chip on their shoulder that they've carried all year long is because of the narrative during the preseason. There's no way that a team can replace 15 guys they sent to the NFL. They're going to go 6-5, and that ticked them off. And here they have another chance to win a natty. To your point, nobody's done it in the CFP era, and nobody's done it since those Bama teams that Kirby was the defensive coordinator. So he understands what that is. He actually told me this week as well that he does believe it's a distinct advantage for them because they understand the magnitude of the stage and how fleeting it can be. You have right now. This is the moment. Take advantage of it. Like Eminem said, right?
Exactly. And I think Stetson Bennett, right?
Love it.
Such a unique career, walk on, JUCO, coming back, being a part of this program again and winning the Natty last year, having the opportunity to do it again this year. When you look at Stetson Bennett and you've seen what he's accomplished so far and what he still has the opportunity to accomplish, what have you seen from him and how do you think he could do potentially on Monday night?
I've interviewed a lot of people, but I've rarely interviewed people that certainly had that story arc, who had that career arc. To be a young man who, as a little boy, went to Sanford Stadium with his father, and the first time I ever interviewed Stetson was last year, early on in the year, when JT Daniels got hurt and Stetson assumed the position. And he said to me that his childhood dream was just to run out of the tunnel at Sanford Stadium and touch the grass. And now he's a Heisman finalist. He wins the MVP of basically every big platform that he plays on. And he's going to be completely unflappable on Monday night. Now, he didn't play great in the first half in the Peach Bowl. Second half, he played lights out. And he's a great leader. Those guys last year, Nakobe Dean, Jordan Davis, all these guys are telling me, that's our guy. We'll follow him anywhere. And these guys feel the same way. So I have very high expectations for him Monday night and for the Dogs, quite frankly.
I guess just second to last thing, when you think about how Georgia has put themselves in this position in general, right? And the fact that their fans, you know how well Georgia fans travel.
Of course.
What type of advantage do you think that gives them in a game like this, knowing that they're going to see a sea of red out there?
Well, certainly there's a familiarity to it. And it's always beneficial when your fans are louder. I don't care where you are or what the stage is. But this kind of stage, like I remember being there last year in Indianapolis, man. It was crazy up in Lucas Oil Stadium. And it's going to be the same way here. Now, it's a long way from Athens, where you and me are standing right now at the LA Convention Center. But I think Georgia fans, because they went 40-plus years with heartbreak, even though they won it last year, they're not in a position yet where they're going to rest. Like Kirby told me a story. It was in the minutes and hours after they won the national championship last year, his buddies were already coming up going, hey, man, you going to do it again?
And final thing, the legacy that Georgia has the opportunity to put forward. The Kirby Smart, you mentioned his record at Alabama and everything he helped Nick Saban accomplish, and the position that he's put his dogs in since he took over the program. Do you think that this Georgia program right now, with someone like Kirby Smart leading the way and with the NFL talent that they've just been churning out over the last X number of years, has the opportunity to be at that level that Alabama was and still is, obviously, knowing what Nick Saban has accomplished over there in Tuscaloosa?
I think absolutely. I think, and it's funny you're asking me this. So when I was in Athens this week, I said to Kirby, it's one thing to build a good team. It's another thing to build a good program. It's another thing to win a national championship. It's another thing to repeat. It's a whole other thing to sustain excellence. Sustaining it is the key. And it's hard to do because what do people get? Complacent. Oh, man, hey, good job. You won a national championship. I'll just take this year off. He is completely unwilling to let that happen because of his own personal standard of being unwilling to get complacent. And that goes from him down. The players understand it. You've interviewed them. It's all about the G. That's what all of them say. Nobody is bigger than the G. And every day he has a saying, a slogan, a mantra for these guys. And what I love about him, and I love this about Coach Saban too, is they're growing men who are going to be great men when they leave and move on into life, whatever that is. That's the first goal. Second goal is to win. And they both do it at the highest level. And Kirby's going to do it for a long time because he recruits so well.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, he had one guy from the portal this year. One guy.
Marty, thank you so much for your time.
Brother.
We appreciate it. It was a pleasure, man. Thank you.